when we are solving addition problems, there are 5 different strategies we use in kindergarten to show them, right? Draw a picture, use objects, use a number line, use a 10 frame, use an addition sentence. For this video, let's talk about how we use a 10 frame. A 10 frame can help us be more efficient when we're using either a picture or objects. So today we're going to practice that. We're going to draw a 10 frame on here. If you have a 10 frame at home, awesome, but I'm guessing you probably don't. So we'll practice drawing one, and then we'll use both objects and circles to fill our 10 frame in. 10 frames can be helpful because we already know what every number looks like on a 10 frame. We've had lots of practice. So that can take away some of the counting. It can make using objects and drawing a picture more efficient, right? Because those are 2 ways that probably take the longest. Using a 10 frame can help make that process a little faster. So let's start by drawing a 10 frame together. Practice with me at home if you don't already know. If you already know, go ahead and see if you can beat me. First, we start with our big rectangle, right? It's okay if it's not even. Mine's definitely not. Then we cut it in half, right? Now we need 4 lines from the top to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. We've got our 10 frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, Miss Bache-Wiig drew a big one so that her chips fit inside the boxes. But you can draw a smaller one if you want to. Okay, let's solve some addition sentences. Practice with me at home. And let's see if this is more efficient for us. We like to know all the ways how to do it, and it's important to know all the different strategies to solve, but eventually you'll find one that you like the most, and you'll use that one. It's important to know how to do all of them, but find the one that you like best, and because that will be the one that you're probably the most efficient with, that you're probably the fastest with. Okay, let's see. Let's find a good one to start with. Okay, 4 plus 1. I'm going to use my chips so that I don't have to erase things, but you can use your marker if you want to, or whatever you're using at home. Okay, 4 plus 1 more. Now, because we know 10 frames really, really well, when the top row of my 10 frame is all filled up, how many do I have? 5, right? I don't have to count those. I already know. I already know what my answer is. 4 plus 1 equals 5, because I can see on my 10 frame that the whole top row is filled up. So our 10 frame helps make these strategies, using an object and drawing a picture, more efficient, because we then have to do less counting. All right, awesome. Ready for our next one? Bache-Wiig will go slower so you can practice with her at home. She got excited about that one. Okay, let's see. What do we got next? I find what we haven't done yet. All right, what about this one? 3 plus 5. 3 plus 5. All right, go ahead and fill in your 10 frame, whatever you're using to fill it in with. Drawing inside of it. Chips inside of it, buttons inside of it, M&Ms inside of it, Lego pieces inside of it. Whatever you got. All right, you ready for me? Okay, 3, 1, 2, 3 plus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, we can figure the answer to this one out a couple of different ways using our 10 frame, right? First, we could count them all. But that's not our most efficient way. We know that the top row is 5, so we could count those. We know 5 and then count up 6, 7, 8. Or we know the whole thing is 10, and if we have just 2 missing, we count backwards from 10, right? 10, 10, 9, 8. We know that we have 8 also. So there's a few different ways. Our 10 frame gives us a couple of different ways that we can solve. So we know that 3 and 5 more equals 8, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Super. Nice work. Okay. You know what? I'll flip another card and you can start working on that while I clear my board off. How about that? 4 plus 6. Okay. Get your 10 frames all set up. Draw a new one if you have to. Big rectangle. Draw a line across it, cut it in half, and then 4 lines down from the top. If you put more than 4 lines, you're drawing more than a 10 frame. And then 4 plus 6 inside of there. All right, you ready for me? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, do we even need to count them? No, because if a 10 frame is all the way filled up, how many do we have? 10. Exactly. So 6 plus 4 equals 10. Now, when you get to when you get to first grade and you start to do numbers higher than 10, your 10 frame will really help you, because then you won't have to count the numbers that are inside of the 10 frame if it's all filled up. You already know. Then you can start to count by tens. That's why we practice this strategy. So we know that when our 10 frame is totally filled up, we have the number 10. We don't even need to count. Easy peasy. All right, should we practice another one? Erase. Take your objects out. Draw a new one if you have to. All right, let's see what our next one is. Two plus 7. 2 plus 7. All right, think you can do it? Fill in your 10 frame with chips, cubes, Lego people. Trying to think of what else you could use. Race cars, if your 10 frame big enough. Marshmallows, Cheerios, most cereals. Acorns. Rocks. Right? Anything you have at home, like you can fit inside of a 10 frame. Okay. 2 plus 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do we have to count them? We can count them. We can count them all. We can count up from 5, or we can count backwards from 10, right? If we know that all filled up is 10 and we're only missing 1, we know that we have, right? So let's count up. We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? 2 plus 7 equals 9. 1 missing from 10, right, would be 9. Awesome. Now, when we're using a 10 frame, it's similar to using our fingers, right? A way to help us keep track without losing our place. Now, 10 frames are nice because we can count up super easily. We're not losing track. But sometimes our fingers are just easier, and our fingers are with us everywhere. So let's do the same addition sentence with our fingers. Now, the problem with our fingers is that when our numbers get higher, like when we get to first grade, they're not as easy to use. But they are a kindergarten strategy that we can use, and they're like using a 10 frame. So let's practice with 2 plus 7 before we go. So we start with 2. Put 2 fingers up wherever you've got 2 fingers. I'm going to put these 2 up. The rest of them are down. Now we have to put up 7. When we use our fingers, sometimes it works to put one number on one hand and the other on the other, but not always. So when we use our fingers, it's actually best to count up. So we've got 2. Now we count up 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That way we don't get confused when one number is larger than 5. Then we can just count how many fingers we've got up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just got this one little one down. So a 10 frame is very similar to using your fingers. You can use both. You can use either. But using your fingers is something you're only really going to be able to do in kindergarten. So you can practice with it, but using a 10 frame is pretty much the same thing. You just don't always have a 10 frame with you. So practice this one at home. Use whatever you've got as addition sentences, however you want to do that, and send me a picture of you practicing using the 10 frame to add things together. Nice job.